Okay, here we go. So I'm doing a screen. Here we go. Good morning, everyone. This is just an update. This is probably day day. I've lost track of the days, but it should be like day 18 or 19 that we have been locked down, and there's nothing can be done. There's more sad news. Yesterday, I was telling you about the children that were separated from their parents with no supervision, and so you had children that were being mishandled or weren't being handled at all, and there just has been chaos in the system. Excuse me, let me fix the mic here. So there has been chaos in the system, and I'm about to tell you the story. Okay. Now, first, let me pimp my um my Medium account. So, if you want to know about what's going on, you just check out my Medium account, and I'm just gonna go to my Medium account here. I'll put it in the list, and here on Medium, you can see all the stories. Everything is in one place. So everything I talk about is going to be on an article that you can read, and it's all in one place here. So you want to check out my Medium account. It is medium.com. I think it's forward slash at camouflage. So that's medium.com forward slash at camouflage. And I'm going to put it here so those who don't have it can have it. Okay. But I would suggest you go here if you want to know everything. And it's a great way to support what I'm doing because I'm not getting paid for this. One. And second is that I am risking a lot because I am in a totalitarian country that does not allow freedom of speech. And if this got out to the Chinese government, I could possibly be put in prison or locked up. So I'm taking great risk to myself and my family to talk about these issues and to get this information out to people who actually want to know what's going on in the world. Okay? So let's get to it. Let's s- look at this here. So somebody sent me this, and we're going to have a look at it. The Chinese CDC. So this is the Chinese CDC, and basically they're trying to tell you the truth of what's going on. So here we have the CDC official. Basically, so there was a phone call between the CDC and I guess some kind of reporter, and it got out. And this is just the summarization of what they talked about between a CDC employer in China and or former employer now, former employee, and a reporter. Well, I don't know if she got fired. Maybe she did after what she said. But here it goes. It says the CDC official basically said the current government anti COVID strategy is totally political. All professional recommendations have been ignored. Okay, so you hear that? The CDC official basically said the current government, Chinese government anti COVID strategy is totally political. All professional recommendations have been ignored. She also said if you are asymptomatic or mild and government is sending ambulance to pick you up, you should refuse to go. This is better for everyone. Now you remember, I think it was on a video 2 days ago I made. And in that video, I showed you a video of people that are already in these kind of detention prison centers where they can't get out. So it's basically a prison. And you got to use porta potties to go to the bathroom, and everything is not being disinfected. And it's just a really dirty place to live because you got 15, 20,000 people in the same area. Okay. Um, and it's very mental because you can't go to sleep because it's always going to be noisy. The lights are always on. Dare not turn the lights off. That would be something crazy, right? So, if you get a case, if you are asymptomatic, and if you're positive, they're gonna send an ambulance to come and get you with the people in white, which I told you already. These kinds of people are just another version of the Red Guard. Okay, they do the government's bidding. All right, and so they'll come and get you, and they'll put you in an ambulance, and then they'll take you to these places. And you saw the video I did where you had a small little revolution of people saying, "We can't take this. You're not doing nothing for us," right? So now you have the CDC lady officially telling you, yes, these places are cesspools. All it's doing is you're retransmitting the viruses. And what it's doing is just, if you have this where it's become a vector of disease, and you all it's doing is mutating again into another disease because you got so many people with the disease in that place. Anybody with common sense would say, don't go there, right? You can put in 15,000 people in one place where they can reinfect each other. They touching everything and all that. They're not wearing any hazmat suits. She said the health code system is rigged and won't show positive test results. CDC is tasked to call people with such results without showing them such. This is something different. This is just because of late replies by the government. So this one you can just kind of throw out. It's not really them showing negative results. It's just that the results are coming in later than what they should. And then what the government does is say you are negative until they get your result and a chance to report it. Then they put it as positive. So this is kind of, you know, um, Shanghai government, CDC, and hospital systems are all working on their own terms. So it says Shanghai government, CDC, and hospital system are all working on their on own terms. So you got three organizations working on their own terms, and there's no coordination. Resources are running extremely low due to the poor efficiency caused by such. It says, woman is just so brave. The caller told her that he was recording the conversation, and she said, you should go ahead and release to everyone. Okay, so I have the conversation. It's like 20 minutes, but it's in Chinese. So um I don't know if I'm gonna put it on there because it is in Chinese, but I might. And I guess you can get somebody to translate, but it is in Chinese. So you'd have to get somebody Chinese to explain it to you. Okay, the woman is identified as Dr. Ju Wei Ping, an infectious disease expert at Pudong CDC. You can always count on Chinese women to hold more than half the sky. That's true. She also confirmed that there has been zero severe cases so far. Yet, almost 30 million people are under lockdown. You understand? So there's been zero severe cases. Out of all these people getting tested, there are millions and millions of people getting tested. Some people get the the variant, and nobody's dying, and it's not severe. And now they got a new one called variant XE, is which sounds like a goddamn um, Windows application, right? So nothing is happening. No one's dying. It's this is just political. It's ridiculous, and so They've shut down their economy and everything for politics because they refuse to say, okay, we might have been wrong on this one, right? Governments will never, ever, ever admit they were wrong, right? And you know what? People would accept if you admitted you were wrong. That this time we were wrong. No, they won't admit. And so until they admit it or until they find some loophole to get out of the problems and the mess that they started, the people will suffer. Okay. So official Shanghai NHC data from March 1st to April 1st, number of COVID patients 42,952. Number of severe patients 0. Okay. Well, we're going to go to the next thing. Hey KD, check out my Medium account. Go there and subscribe to that if you can. I'm not getting many people on here. I mean, I don't know if people just don't care or whatever, but this could be coming to a place near you. China is always the blueprint of what's will happen somewhere else. Okay, that's something that I've learned since being here. Now, um, I'm going to show you something else about a child who died. Now, this is a warning. This is really horrid. So, if you're not used to seeing something like this, just be careful. Thank you, KD, for subscribing. So, this is crazy. I'm going to show you this, and it is highly sad. So, we're just going to do it. So, her kid is dying because he's been quarantined. She was separated from her child. You see the people, the people in white, the new cultural revolution. You see them not doing anything. Okay, I'll taking off the sound because her voice, right? But you see these workers, they're not really doing anything. These I call them white guards. Okay, the new cultural revolution type of government pawns, right? And so what do? They do nothing. They just stand there like idiots, like apathetic. Look, he doesn't care. It's not his kid, so he doesn't care. They don't care. It's not their kid, right? So you can see the apathetic nature of these red guards, okay? And we can see what happened. They have a story here about what happened. So it says, let me tell you something. And it says, what? A friend of mine died. And she said, committed suicide. What do you mean? Right? What do you mean? Because her daughter, less than 2 years old, was taken to quarantine. They wouldn't let them, means they wouldn't let them see her, the daughter. But I want to keep asking why. And then there was the video, and then nothing. Okay. This is being translated. It was originally in Chinese. So, um, my friend couldn't take the shock, committed suicide just today. I looked at the vibrate today. I'm numb. I feel like my friend's desperate mother pain. The isolated kid seems to be unsupervised, crying a mess. Look around. I didn't think there was such a situation. I've commented that if the parents of isolated children see how many breakdowns, Shanghai has lost its image, really. Okay, so the Shanghai government is really losing kind of face in this situation. Okay, so this is another part of the same story. It says looks like the child left unattended, high fever, dead. And so I'm guessing they mean the child was left unattended. I showed you yesterday of all the children just left in the ward. It looks like they're having fun, but some of them, like I said, if it's like a 1 to like 4 or 5 year old, you don't leave them. You don't separate them from the parents. You can't do that. Okay. But if it's like 7, 9 years old, then perhaps they can be okay because they're with other kids, right? Because the kids are smarter than the adults. But you're doing this to 7 days old, like 5 year old, 7 days old, 1 year old, 2 year old. And so the kid must have had a fever. So it says, sure, mother's idea is that her child left afraid of her alone, so I cannot think of to accompany her or whatever. Songjiang, suburban district of Shanghai. So Songjiang, I'm in Pudong. That is about 2 hours from here. My cousin's friend, she is in Changning. So like I told you before, it is not the virus isn't killing anyone. It's the reaction, the government's reaction to the virus has killed more people than the virus itself. So this is perfect communism. Like this is how communism reacts. This is the system of communism. It's not very efficient, okay, in terms of when it's dealing with people as individuals, right? And so you will have these kinds of problems all the time. United States is headed into this direction. Don't you worry. Um, you still have some sort of here's one with a foreigner, with a Westerner. He sounds like I think he sounds British, maybe. But look at what happened to him. Okay, so we'll listen to what happened to him.
All right, so here's an update. I tested positive.
American,
Right?
Canadian.
There's nowhere for them to send me. Right? I'm not allowed to go in the hospital, and I have to stay here in this room. And this is what they gave me:
What's the hospital for if you can't stay in the
this
hospital?
blue thing and this blanket. And they're like, you can sleep here. This is where what I have to sleep on.
Okay, so do you hear him? Like, so do you hear how he sounds? Does he sound like he's sick and dying to you? Does he sound like he's on a verge of death to you? Does he look like he's on a verge of death? He's just a regular dude and he tested positive. And if he had a problem, why won't they let him in a hospital? Why is he being told to sleep on the floor? If you are testing positive and it's all about people's health, why are you doing this?
All right, so here's an update. I tested positive. Right? There's nowhere for them to send me. Right? I'm not allowed to go in the hospital, and I have to stay here in this room. And this is what they gave me: this blue thing and this blanket. and they're like, "You can sleep here. This is where what I have to sleep on.
This is
Look,
China, fellas.
this is supposed to be like a nice hospital, and this is where I'm sleeping tonight."
And this is China, fellas. And this is why I'm leaving. Once this lockdown is over, I'm out of here, man. I am out. As soon as I can get a plane out of here, I'm taking my daughter. We are leaving. This this is madness now. It has turned to madness. There is hope though. Here, you have a revolution taking place, if you want to call it that. So these people are going crazy because they're not getting fed. Okay, so these people decided to bum rush this whole complex because they're not getting fed. It looks like a place in Pudong, but who knows? It could be Puxi. But many places have been locked down for like 20 days, 25 days. They can't get out. There's no way for them to get food, because all the apps are closed. Everything is closed, and the government, Shanghai government, doesn't seem to give a shit. So here is the first signs of revolution. When people's stomachs start getting hungry, they excuse me, they start revoluting. Okay. So that's the revolution that is being sparked. Here is a message from someone I know, and it says, "Is not as great as what you received. We can only buy expensive food from WeChat groups. Many elderly people don't know how to buy food from WeChat groups. Of course, many people don't know how to buy that shit. Not only the elderly. They can only eat very little. Some of them don't have enough money to buy it. Some elderly people are out of food. Now they all depends on the young people in our community to help them. I'm very tired these days. I need to buy food for my elderly neighbors. They need fruit, eggs, etc. I have to receive food outside at the gate of my community several times per day. Actually, I don't want to go outside because I'm afraid to be infected." Now, she's not afraid of the virus, she's afraid of the reaction to the virus. So, this is like a mass hysteria, right? Caused and propagated by the Chinese government. Actually, I don't want to go outside because I'm afraid to be infected. I really don't want to be sent into the makeshift hospital, which she's talking about the prisons, the makeshift prisons that they doing, the ad hoc prisons, the detention camps that I call them. That did you see before they were just locking up the Uyghurs. Now they're locking everybody up that tests positive, right? Um, but if I don't do these, elderly would die. Many elderly is out of medicine. They usually eat, and we can't buy medicine for them. It will become harder and harder to buy food in WeChat. She's saying a lot of stuff here, and I feel bad because nope, you cannot. Some melanin Asia asked, Melon in Asia asks, I understand that you can. Let me try to read this. Uh, Sorry. She says, I understand that you can catch flights out of China, not within China, though. You can catch flights out of China, but not to China, I think. No, I think you can catch flights to China, but not to Shanghai. Shanghai's um, airport is closed. So there's certain airports that are closed and locked down. Shanghai is the main airport. If you want to come to China, you're going to come through Shanghai or Beijing or what have you. So there are some airports that are open, right? Because you got to have some business. You can't just completely shut down the business of the whole country. But like Shanghai's economy is like half of China's economy. So even though you can catch it, and then most people's working in maybe the six big cities of China, Shanghai is shut down. That's the biggest city. It's the biggest city here. So if they're doing bad, it's only a matter of time before the rest of the other cities going to start catching this and catching it big time. It's just going to come later. Okay, come to Shanghai fast because everybody comes to Shanghai. So the Shanghai is the first to get this thing. Last Shanghai got lucky because they said, "Oh, Shanghai did a good job and it was stopping the virus. It was zero, almost zero here." That's because they were lucky. All right, this virus is highly transmittable. Don't really have anything to do with skill. It's just this luck. You just keep everybody out. You stop people from coming. You know, the last COVID they didn't shut down anything in Shanghai. We didn't have to be shut in our apartments. It's just that everywhere you went, you had to do a nucleic acid. You had to have a QR code to say that you're okay, and that seemed to work fine. But this time they just went overboard. Thank you. We are safe enough. We just it's hard to get food here. That's the biggest part. It's hard to get food. Government doesn't care about how you get it because they shut down all the means of production to produce food. So it's hard to get except by government sanctioned places and they just don't have enough of those. So the government's making you rely on them. If you are an independent person, they force you to rely on them. And if you're not used to be relied on by to rely on the government, then you're going to be in trouble. Uh, you cannot order food from different. You can order food. Go ahead. You can order food from Shandong, but it won't get into Shanghai until after lockdown, which is the point, which would be besides the point, because I need the food tomorrow. I need the food now. It's useless to order food and then it's coming after. I order something from a place called EP Market, and the government don't give does not give them a license to order food, or I mean to bring food to anybody. So they cannot, even though they may have the supply, right? Um they cannot give me food. So when I order online, you will see that it says April 9th. What is today? Today's April 4th. I ordered this on April 1st. Why does it take 9 days to get to my place? Why? Because they figure that's the time that everybody will get lifted. But if it doesn't get lifted, that April 9th will be pushed back to like April 15th. So we never get the food that we order, even though you pay, right? So this is what's happening. I'm sure you're in China, but you're not in Shanghai. Because if you was in Shanghai, you would know you can't get food. Yeah, you can't catch flight. Pudong Airport is closed. Hongqiao Airport is closed. We are locked. We cannot. We are imprisoned. We cannot leave. I want to go. I want to go back to the United States. I want to go back to not to New York, but I want to go back. When this lockdown is over, we are preparing to. Me and my children, my wife, we're preparing to leave because this is the last straw. This is ridiculous. You cannot lock people down for these days and then don't give them anything to eat. They gave us three cucumbers, two tomatoes, and a zucchini or something, whatever you call that, a eggplant, and then they gave us 2 days ago. They gave us one thing of spam, okay, and these like processed hot dogs, and that's it. And that is what you will be getting probably for the whole week. There won't be any other food after that. Okay. So if you're locked down for 14 days, then what's going to happen when you can't order online? When Because China has gone full electronic payment. So if you can't buy anything online, where do you get them? You got to go into these groups where they order things wholesale. And who knows if it's real? Because some of them are not. Some of them, my money was taken. I lost 250 RMB, which is like $50, because they had these fake groups out there taking people's money, not providing the food. Okay. And this is manufactured stuff that if the government just didn't, everything would be fine. You would catch the disease, you didn't even know that you got it. And then it would just go away. You wouldn't even know that you have it, then it just go away. Right? Um Now, when I talked about, I said that they putting people in these detention centers, and then at detention centers you could get sicker because it can bring about a more dangerous strain. That's only because there is no sanitation. You stuck. You got your same clothes every day. Where do you take a shower? There's no shower facilities. Okay, so how are you bathing in that place? There's no shower facilities. You gotta wash at the sink, maybe, right? The toilets are these porta potties. So this breeds dangerous and disgusting things and germs. That's how the virus will mature and turn into something more dangerous, right? Beside, you know, if what if you just leave people alone, and then I can go and take my shower and I can go to the bathroom my own place. I will get COVID from somebody. I touch the pole, I get COVID, but it's very mild. Nothing happens. And I'm taking showers, I'm doing what I do in the morning, and everything is fine. As opposed to you putting everybody in an area in an unsanitary condition, right? And when they are not in their best physical form. And so the these kind of viruses are allowed to incubate in those types of bathrooms, disgusting bathrooms, and this kind of thing. Because China, I tell you, people don't know how to piss inside the bowl. They piss on the floor all over the place. They piss everywhere instead of the bowl. So you have the pissing all over the seats, everywhere. So imagine a place that got 20,000 beds. How many bathrooms can you imagine that they have? 20,000. What, a few hundred bathrooms, if that, right? And how do you create the plumbing for this type of situation? You probably don't. If you're building this in like 5 days, there's no plumbing system. There are porta potties, and porta potties are highly disgusting and full of germs. And 100% of the people that have the virus are using that. So you're just going to keep contracting it and keep contracting it. This is not freaking rocket science. It's very common sense. And then you're separating these adults from their children, and the children you know, children are just dirty, you know what I'm saying? What are they doing? The 2-year old that got a disease, she got a fever and she died. I don't think she died from COVID. She just died from a fever. So you dying, people are dying from mental illness. Um, because you got people who are implementing this, they have mental illness. Okay. Because there's nothing wrong. All you got to do is leave it alone and let us sort it out ourselves and we'll be fine. But with China, they always interfere with people's lives and they wind up effing things up down the road. They just wind up effing everybody's life up down the road, like the one child policy. They implemented that. They should have left people alone. It would have worked itself out. But now they have an elderly population, an excess elderly population, because they keep sticking their nose in things that they have no business sticking their nose in instead of leaving people alone. Sorry, that's my son acting spoiled. Oh, okay. Hey, Chloe, how you doing? Kilo, how you doing? Check out my this here. I'm on Medium. Check that out. Add me because I'm not going to be on YouTube so much anymore because YouTube is just going to they're going to delete my channel very soon, so I have to keep doing live streams because if I unhide my channel, they're just going to delete everything. I know it. It's already been happening. I already got like a strike. So you can use Medium. I'm not going to really be using YouTube only for doing this type of stuff. What's up? What's up, man? How you doing? Salute. It's crazy out here. Thank you very much. We're gonna try to get out of here, man. We're trying to get out. We're trying to get out. We're gonna try our best. Okay. Once after this is over, I mean, there's no choice. There's like no choice. You know what I mean? You gotta be retarded to stay here after this. You gotta be really desperate because you got nothing in the United States to stay after this. But we got stuff in the United States, so we're leaving. So see you guys. Good night and stay sharp, people. Stay sharp.